Hello there, YouTube. This is part 2. This is masking tape colored with a marker. What I'm doing is I'm taking a Dremel blade that's not a full one because they tend to skip, and I'm cutting a groove along here. So when I use my bed grinder, it's going to follow a little better. This is pretty precise. We're getting down to the end of making this. Okay, this triangle is not equal sides. This is 3 inches across here. If I forget to put it in my picture, I'll show it now. So I'm 3/4 here, 3/4 here, which is 1.5 inches. So the bottom of this is 1.5 inches. Okay? Left over from 3 inches. It's 1.25 inches up to the top. Because you have 2 inches, it's 3/4, 1.25 inches up to here. So this triangle is not all equal sides. But by the time you get the angle to come over here, means this is only 1.25 inches from here to here, it is almost 1.5 inches. It's like 1.25 inches plus whatever. So it almost looks equal side. It doesn't matter. Kind of optical illusion. But this kind of give you an idea. If you kind of look at it, this is going to be the 2 legs. That's why I colored the masking tape. Instead of having it just one big flat, I figured I'd give it some design to it. We've got our hole drilled in here, in case you want to drive a pin out. This is overhanging 1 inch, 3/4 inch down. I will put pictures of my drawing, but I probably won't include this because I don't want to get the drawing too full. So this could be left to somebody's own idea. I don't know how I'm going to put the bottom on. I do have some holes started. I'm thinking about brazing or welding some pins in here, grinding this flush. Then the base is going to be a 5-inch piece of this, so it's only going to hang out 1 inch on either side, not a full 6 inch. This is 6 inches long. But I will show that in pictures too if I don't explain it. So you get the idea. This side I already did. It's kind of crude. Kind of skipped and stuff there. But this will help the grinder. You're not supposed to grind with the flat side of your disc. But I'm going to come up here, and I'm going to stay away from this line. I'll probably cut like this. But you can kind of grind with the edge to taper. And you can do a little bit of smoothing on the flat side. I'd recommend a full face shield. I'm wearing a pretty good set of goggles, but I'd recommend a full set of face shield. I have not had one of these shattered before. So this is the super thin ones. Someday I'll show a video how to make this smooth again. Just simple, basically what you do. Say you have a piece of scrap metal, right? And you're starting to get jagged on the edge. Just start your grinder, shut it off, and bring it up and rub it on the metal. Shut it up, wind it up a little bit, shut it off, bring it up the metal. And you will notice this will start taking that jagged edge off. That's basically how you do it. I can make a short video someday, but you fire up the grinder, shut off the switch, and then let it rub down to a stop. Just grind down to a stop, and this will smooth out again. It's just a quick way. But if you get cracks spraying real bad, pitch them. You see the woven stuff. Throw a safety tip in with this video. But I just thought I'd show this step before I get done. I'm going to cut a groove in here. And I'm also kind of going at an angle. Instead of trying to come in here straight like this, I'm kind of tipping at an angle and I'm cutting into the waist. So I'm staying on that line instead of flat. You tend not to make as many mistakes. You can always switch this way. But if you see how this is setting on here, you can't get that level anyway. You can with the start of a new blade. But a new blade tends to skip. Smaller blade, you can get a little more accurate to get the line cut. I'm down in there about 1/16 of an inch. Then I'll clean off the masking tape. It's all gummy and gooey. I'm actually going right on the edge of the tape. Not to make this too long, we'll get back to work. Okay, here's the finished anvil. So I'm sure I said this was 6 inches long. This is 1 inch wide by 2 inch stock, bar stock. So the bottom is 2 inches, 1 inch, and it's only 5 inch. I didn't want it as long as how this hangs out. The horn, I should say, point of the anvil. I don't really want to paint this, so when I was done working on this, which I had those pins, I'll show them in the pictures, when I brazed those in there, it took a lot of heat. I actually got out my rosebud tip to get it hot enough on the bottom. It's pretty ugly, I could tip over and show it, but I have pictures where the pins go through. Then the hole's bigger than the pin, so you can get the brazing on it. I took the torch and had this hot. I hated this. I had my rosebud tip. That's the tip that's round. It has a round flame, and I got this real hot. We'll show up. So it's just kind of a burnt metal, bluish in places. Then I'll put some oil on it, because I don't want to paint it. To me, paint would just be gaudy. I want it to be just old looking steel. Like down here, the patina on it, I should say, is a big word. I'm just going to oil it. Light coat of oil. If it gets rusty, scrub it off. Probably use a scrub pad instead of sandpaper. But the metal never was smooth. It had pits in it before. Got a few nicks in it and stuff from working it. Dropped it. It actually fell once and made a little nick on the corner. And that's the texture it's going to be. It was hard fitting the bottom here because this stuff was not squared on the edges. That's the edge. This is called the side. That's called the edge, the skinny part. It wasn't squared. It's still not perfect. It kind of leans one way. The top, I might work on it some more. The top was rounded. I could see it even on the camera here. But it's just for light work. It's not for nothing precise. I can sit there and smooth that down a little bit better. I have worked on it with my sanding rollers. It goes in the rotary tool, the drum type sanders. And also, if you wanted to spend the time, you could turn this upside down on a sheet of glass with some emery paper, different grits, and you could actually flatten that out. But I don't think I want to spend that much time. But this ended up being a two-parter. I got some pictures I'll post at the end. Trying to get a little better setup when I display something. These are only 50 cents at the Goodwill. They're little trays. Well, you could always scuff it up so it ain't shining. But I bought 2 of them. I mean, they had a whole stack of them, but for 50 cents, the person should have had a couple more. But they work great when working on stuff. Your little parts don't roll off. I have a good one, which is this one, and I have one that's already getting scratched. So, it doesn't hurt to buy something cheap. It's better than buying something good and ruin it. This is my new camera mount, so this is all kind of a test here to get this. But I can just move this whole weight if I wanted to move the camera. And then I just got the flexi thing. I might have showed that in the other part when I was doing my micro torch video. So you can probably hear that creaking. But that's it. Thanks for watching.